You've heard of chicken marsala or veal marsala. Today I'm making a pork marsala. So let's get to it. But first, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified when I create a new video. Like and share this video, it really helps out the channel. Now let's get into the recipe. This is a pork tenderloin that I butterflied. I cut it in half and butterflied, so we're going to be using that. It's nice and tender, so it's good. So I just finished tenderizing the pork a little bit just to flatten it out. I'm going to season the pork with a little bit of salt. And I'm going to add some to the flour also. I'm going to add some, this is Italian seasoning, and some black pepper. Put some seasoning on this side. So we're going to take the flour here, we're just going to mix that up just to get it all kind of flat. Just want to do a light flouring on this just to give it a little bit of a crust. And then we'll take the second one here and I'll just get that floured, get rid of some of the excess, and I'm going to put it on this shear. So now this is going to sit a little bit while we saute the onions and the mushrooms. Add about a tablespoon or so of olive oil. Get those in there. They have a little bit more water, so we want to make sure that we get some of the water out anyway. A little bit of salt. Little black pepper. Now we don't want the mushrooms to kind of shrink down too much, so we're going to start adding some of the other ingredients. About a tablespoon of butter in that. Okay, and we'll get the onions in there. We're going to let this go for a couple of minutes just to kind of soften the onions and the mushrooms. All right, so it's been a couple minutes now and they're starting to get translucent here. We don't want them to go too far because they are going to sit in that awesome sauce. So I'm just going to get these onto a plate. And you want to hear a little bit of sizzle here, so I'm going to crank this up a little bit more. Just want to get a little crust on this because it is going to cook in the sauce anyway. So let's get that in here. Open that up. And this is going to cook pretty quick. So you want to let this sit for about a minute or so until it gets a little crust, then we can flip it to the other side for another minute. So now you can see the color is starting to turn. It's coming up a little bit on the edge here. So if it's still sticking a little bit, it's just about there, because when it gets that crust, it'll pull right off. So you can see the color starting to turn here. So I'm just going to flip this one here. Got a nice color on this. Give it a push so it flattens out. And then we'll take this one here. Nice, you see that nice color, that's flavor. Give it a little push here again, so it'll give it that sear on it. And we're gonna let this go for another minute. All right, so the pork is just about there. It's not completely done, but it is gonna cook in the sauce. So we wanna make sure we pull it off. So you can see a nice color there. Nice color, we're gonna get that on here. Get this one here off. Put that on here too. Put that aside for now. That piece here, extra piece. All right, so now we have some of these bits here. So we're going to grab some of these bits off of here, but I've got some ham. Going to get the ham in on there too. So we're going to just heat it up. This is just pre-cut ham, just for a little extra flavoring. Get that all sauteed in. Turn the heat down to medium. All right. So now we're going to get the mushroom and the onions back in there. All right, get that all in there. Get that all working. Now I've got some garlic, and I'm just going to use this little shaver here, just to, instead of mincing it with a knife, you can just use this little cheese grater. Just get that off. Okay, get that off, get that all in there. Be gentle with the garlic. That's why I put it in later. Okay. There's still some of that leftover juice from the mushrooms and onion, so that's going to help pull some of those bits off too. Okay, give it another couple of seconds, and then we'll add the liquid. Now this is about a half cup of Marsala wine. It's a sweet sherry type wine. Gonna get that in there. Give it a second to kind of pull some of the bits off. Okay. So we want to make sure that the mushrooms absorb some of that wine flavoring. Okay, as it starts coming up to a boil here, we're going to add, I'm going to add about a half cup, maybe a cup, 3/4 cup of some chicken broth. Get that in there too. Give that a turn, and we want to make sure we get those bits off that bottom. That's just more flavor. Add some Italian seasoning here. All right, so we got a nice boil here now. So let's put the pork back in there. And I made some space here, so I'm just kind of bathing it in the sauce here. I want to make sure that it gets completely coated. Okay, like that. And put this little piece, that's a bonus piece. So let's coat both sides here, like that, like that. Get some of these mushrooms over the top. So that's going to help to flavor the meat too. Okay, I've got it on low medium now. Top on here for about 5 minutes until the pork is completely cooked, and then we're ready to go. All right, so you can see the sauce has thickened up quite a bit. So you want to make sure every few minutes you want to kind of spoon it over it just to be able to keep it moist and very tasty. So now just to finish it up, I'm going to add a little pat of butter into that. Okay, we're going to get that to melt up. So that's going to make it nice and shiny, give us a nice shiny sauce, nice and glossy. All right, and I think we're ready to plate up here. All right, so let's take the dish here. I'm going to grab this one here, and we're going to get it right on this dish. We're going to get some of these mushrooms and onions and ham. Get that over the top, like that. So going to get some of this sauce over the top, and going to sprinkle a little Romano Parmesan cheese. So let's dig into this pork Marsala. Let's dig into this. So let's move some of these vegetables here. We want to get right into the meat. So I'm going to cut right down the middle here so we can take a look at what it looks like. I mean, look at that. Beautifully cooked. Nice. So I'm going to take this end piece here. But, you know what? I'm going to take a mushroom too. Very good. You can taste that Marsala coming out. Really good. The mushrooms seem to absorb all that flavor too. That's why you don't want to cook them all the way through. This is a nice simple dish. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I know I did. I know I will. The rest of this recipe anyway. So if you enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, and hit that bell to get notified. Check out that video there next. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.